Hey everybody, welcome back to the Binding of Isaac. That was totally ripped off from Northline. That's okay, we're going right into it. We're gonna do the Isaac mode or Isaac Greed run this time. So last time we just did a Judas run, but we got a little too ambitious and we died. That's all there is to that. Curse of the Blind, that kind of sucks because I don't really know what's worth taking, what isn't worth taking, because I can't see anything. So we'll just go ahead and not, take anything. Ta-da! Common sense right there. I mean, I suppose I could take some items if I want to really live on the edge of tomorrow, but I'm really not comfortable making purchases like that because, well, it might be junk, basically. So I went for Greed mode because, I haven't really played them before. Or, I've played Greed mode, sorry, but I've never done a live recording. It's not even a live recording, Jeebus. Which, I mean, it's technically true, I haven't done a live recording of it. Shoot. End of story, I'm like, oh, I'm being overwhelmed, say something, anything! And here we are, and I'm just like, slack jaws, looking at the screen, it's like, I'm your stereotypical gamer right now, I'm just like, ugh. That's why I have with the face cam too, because I think if I was recording of just like audio, get away bomb. If I was recording of just the audio, I'd be like, okay, well, I could like pause and then you could be like, okay, well, I'm focusing on the game or whatever. No big deal. Like, I don't even know that there's a person there because he's not talking. Whereas, with a face cam, if I don't say anything, you have a guy in a camera going like this for a bit, just like. And I think that looks bad. That's not. That's not what I want to be known for. Speaking of establishing personalities. Okay, man, those spires are a little crazy. So one thing I want to address too is like I know there's Afterbirth, and I want to say first of all, like that mod looks incredible. I definitely want to play it. When there will be videos of that, I have no idea. I record very infrequently, at least when it comes to Isaac, so I can't say. And I'm in that weird stage right now. It's like I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my my channel. And like in some ways, it's like I would like to have like that little community where it's like, yeah, I can like post videos and like people would comment or whatever. And like that's the thing. If you like, if you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. That'd be like totally bejugular, man. That being, oh man, see, we could almost take an item, but I don't know what there is to take, so I won't take it. Rubber cement. Yeah, that's okay. I think the bosses on this floor should be easy enough that I don't really need to worry too much about it. Alright, cool. Let's get down to business. Oh, they bounce off the enemies too. This might actually be alright. This might be a really good item. I mean, I look really weird, but that's alright. Oops. Okay, Widow's playing me for a fool right now. Let me get rid of you. Oh yeah, so I don't know what I really want to do with the channel right now. Because on one hand, like, I would like to have a little community be like, hey, here's some videos. And people are like, hey, and then they comment like, hey, man, like, I heard you had hair on your head and want to say I'm sorry. It's really unfortunate that you have hair on your head. I'm like, where's this guy coming from? Like, what? Or, it's like, hey, like, here's what you said in your Dead Rising video, and, like, I strongly disagree with this, and that'd be cool. That being said, it's like, it's like, hey, if you want to, like, be asking philosophical questions, how come you aren't on the philosophical, message board? And part of it is, like, because I like playing video games, and then talking over video games seems like a fun thing to do, so I was like, hey, let's, like, try it out, let's see, see where it takes me. We're gonna break these poops, too, before they become a problem. But then on the other hand, too, like, one thing in my channel is, like, because it's so small right now, I can do whatever I want and not fear, and, like, not fear, I don't know if fear's the right thing, but, like, I don't feel like I have any commitments right now on my channel. Like, right now, I just upload whatever I want, and, like, because, like, I'm so small, it's, like, it's not really a big deal because, there aren't any real expectations to fulfill. Like, I think, if I may be so bold here, I think most of my subscriber base, and when I say most, like, I mean, I only have, like, 5 right now, right? Like, 4 or 5. Some of them like talking about the, or I think some of them come from like the the 2v2s or 3v3s in my StarCraft videos, which, you know, completely fair. But that being said, it's like I haven't had like a really like, you know, I haven't really done anything that's really like built like a crowd. Like it's not like, you know, I did like my Dead Rising Let's Play or something, and people are like, dude, like, and that's what they came for, like, you know, Fire Emblem. So I had like kind of like the creative freedom to do whatever I want, which you may say, Jeebus Krampus is like wrecking me up, man. This is gonna be a short, great, holy Jeebus. We gotta be careful next floor, or get incredibly lucky. I'm gonna break these down for some fire. So I have the creative freedom, so like I don't have to really do anything. Like I mean, like it's like I think the StarCraft videos, like sure maybe, but like I think that'll come anyways. And even like when I stream on Twitch, it's like I don't need to really do a whole lot. Because like I stream Fire Emblem and that's about it. And some people show up for the Fire Emblem, but again, like I don't really have an audience. And that don't take this as me complaining or anything. Like I'm completely happy with my lot in life. But no, I'm just like I'm making observations here. We need HP, which we kind of got, so I think we're gonna be okay. So I think the key we go for, and we might want to re-roll that. What's this, Spider Bite? Oh, Infestation too. Okay, so I think that's pretty sick. I'm gonna re-roll in hopes to get a HP up. Here we go. Fanny Pack might be worth taking as well, so I'll have to keep that in mind. I know we didn't take the range up, that's right. We took meat though. Meat's very solid, I would think. So is it every time I kill someone I get something for infestation? That's very good. That's very, very strong. Yeah, again, we're gonna talk about my channel again some more, because like, you know, I have a huge ego the size of the moon. So yeah, I don't really know what I want to do with it. So where was, like, why did I bring that up though? Yeah, so I don't record Isaac very often because like I don't know if that's where I want to take my channel. And again, like I'm still in like things like what exactly do I want to do with it? Like I definitely want to keep uploading videos like that. I don't think that's gonna change, but if there's like a particular niche I'm gonna try and fulfill right now, or like go for, I'm not entirely certain. Because again, I don't really know. Like I'm having a blast doing this. Like this is a fun hobby. But where I want to take it, I haven't really thought about that yet. Because I mean, one thing too is like there's like Let's Play channels on YouTube are a dime a dozen. Like it's not hard to find any, and there's basically the market's saturated, right? So it's like, am I offering anything unique here by playing this game? I think the honest answer to that question would be no, not really. I think, you know, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this right now, I suppose. Duke Flies is a very convenient boss for us to fight, because every time we kill one of these guys, we get more spiders. More damage up would be very incredible to get, though. Lump Cold doing good work. I'm liking the rubber cement. That's very nice synergy. Oh, I feel like I should have gotten hit there. And I think we just go for the Devil Deal as well. Fishla, that's a very good enemy for us to fight. Too. I talk about like my channel a little bit. The other thing too is sometimes like when I'm like recording, there'll be like particular trains of thought that I want to talk about, but what happens, like I get distracted by the game and then I pause for several seconds at least, and then at that point I'm kind of like wondering, is like, well, I stopped talking for like X amount of seconds, and then like, you know, is it okay to talk about what I was talking about, or to resume talking about what I was talking about? And I think part of Andrew, let's see what we got in here. That's okay. Sixth Sense isn't great though. So what do we do? I think we actually take the fanny pack, or do we just reroll? I didn't like any of these items. Safety pins. We'll go down to the next floor. So I was like, you know, stop talking, and then I'm like, is it safe to resume? And I think it's fine if I remember where I left off was, but what happens is I lose my train of thought, because if something, you know, causes me to stop talking, it's usually because it's distracting enough and not because it's like, you know, I just don't feel like talking. It's because like I just got distracted. I think we take the HP up. I think that's what we do in this situation. And then what do we got here? We got, I think the blood clot is the quote unquote the smart play. I just don't really like it too much as I have. Oh, jeez, this is bad too. Do we even use this? Bad trip. That was really awful. I don't like buying HP either, because I like to play, when I play green mode, I'm very min-maxy. Like, I like to go super hard on, like, just being as cheap as possible, so that way I can get more items. And sometimes it works out, because that way, you know, if you get that extra item or two, you're, like, that much stronger. Because, well, of course, like, those 1 or 2 items can make a big difference, like, you know, having, like, Tech X or something else, but that being said, though, too, sometimes, like, if you need HP, you need HP, and you can't really skirt the issue of needing HP. So I'm going to see where I'm at. I might need to be smart for a minute and, like, buy some HP, because I think we're actually fine on as far as, like, damage and stuff that we do. And I think that's a trend that sometimes you guys see, too, if you've watched my StarCraft videos. Like, I'm a very greedy player. And why am I greedy? Well, because I have fun being greedy. Because it works both ways. Because on one hand, if I'm greedy and I pull it off, then it's like it feels great, because like usually it's high risk, high reward, because you're so greedy. But then it's like, well, and then you have like this unstoppable army, or in the case of green mode, like I get so like more items and I steamroll through it. But then, so like that's if I succeed. Is like, well, what if I fail? And then it's like, well, if I fail, then I get, usually not always, I get an interesting story to tell, at least from my perspective, about, oh, I tried to be this greedy, but I failed and it was miserable. This is good. We have a ton of money. We need to buy some stuff. So I think we'll do this. Alright, what do we got? Blood clot, range is fine. Latch key will be okay. And we'll grab Q meat. Oh, and there's that as well. I don't think we can afford it, though. If we had piercing shots, that would be... actually, I don't know how that'd work with the synergy of, the balancing some rubber cement. Also, this, like, man, I like our combination. Balancing cement, really liking it. And Infestation 2, that makes it even better. Like, I think we're pretty powerful, and that's why I think it's important to get the HP, because, like, we're that powerful and we don't really want to die. I take it. Guppy's tail, I don't really want. This I do want, though. Absolutely. Okay, that's very good. So we're very durable now, I'd say. I think we're basically sorted. I think we could be able to get to greed just fine. Alright. I think this is good. I am all. And yes, placenta, that's very good for us. So I think we're basically sorted now. And then we have the battery charge, which I don't know if we really want that. I might re-roll it. We'll see. Alright. Let's get into it. So far, everything's just ducky. And I think that's... one thing I will know is I think remote typically end up being easier than hard mode Isaac. At least how I play. I think it depends on your playstyle and your preference. But I think for the most part it's much easier because it's a lot easier to get items and you get to be a little bit more choosy of what you grab. So, and I do like remote, although I think most people, for them at least, they the real attraction of Isaac is just like the main game mode, which was similar for like League of Legends back when they used to have Dominion. Like I really like Dominion, but most people were there for the main game. Dominion wasn't super popular, which is part of the reason why they took it out. And you know, from business perspective, I totally understand that. I think that's something too. Something I would like to talk about is like sometimes I feel gamers have this sense of entitlement. Well, maybe not just gamers, but like a lot of people have the sense of entitlement that, hey, like I should, you know, I'm owed this or whatever. And how come I didn't get this? I think basically what it comes down to is that, well, I don't think the world owes anyone anything. Yeah, I think we reroll. Speedball, that's good for me. Like, so for example, like when people like buy games or whatever, it's like, oh, you know, if I'm buying a multiplayer, and these are just examples too, by the way, I'm not saying this is always the case, but it's like, hey, if I'm buying a single player game, then I want there to be at least a 6-hour campaign. Like, I feel like that should be a minimum requirement for the game. And honestly, everyone has different like opinions about that. But the other thing too is like, I understand it because people get expectations. Like, so for example, like say they play Chrono Trigger, like, wow, like that was a very good RPG. Like, I want all my RPGs to be at least that quality. I understand where they would be coming from, but I don't necessarily agree with that. And here's part of the reason why I say that. So, for example, like for this sense of entitlement, it's like, oh well, we can just stand here actually. It's like I should be like when I play my games, like I demand to have like at least like this, and this. But it's like, oh, I didn't get it, and like, you know, blah. Part of the way I see it is like if the game doesn't deliver, double stain, we might be in serious trouble here. Hey, look, good thing we're sorted on the HP front, but dang. Okay, we'll just deal with him first. This is really not going how I envisioned it going. Okay, so that's one stain. Oh my goodness. There's too much going on. But the other thing too, the way I see it is like, oh, like, you know, these games. Holy Jeebus. Calm down. Alright, I think we'll be fine now. And we still have a lot of HP, so I'm not like super concerned. We did not hit him very much at all. Like, so they get the sense of entitlement, but that being said, though, it's like, oh well, like the game owes me this. Like, first of all, the world owes you nothing, but I also believe too, like the games that don't meet expectations, like they won't, you know, they won't last. Like, so for example, people are like, oh well, like No Man's Sky should have been this, like this was promised to us and it should have happened. Well, it's like, and I think this is kind of like where I'm saying, basically I'm saying like the invisible hand of the market, the invisible hand, Adam Smith's invisible hand, is basically saying that, well, if it doesn't deliver on the consumer's expectations, then like that product won't necessarily be in the market for very long because it's not exceeding, or it's not, not exceeding, but it's not meeting consumer expectation. So they won't have it in there anymore, or won't last in there. Oh, sorry. It won't last because like people aren't happy with it. And typically speaking, the products that make people happy are, well, if they make them happy, they're gonna keep buying it. And those are the products that if they keep selling, then they're gonna keep, like, they're gonna stay in the market, right? I'm not saying this is always the case, and I think that's a very general outlook at it, and not a very comprehensive one. And I don't think it really deals with what we're talking about. All right, so let's try this. Bad trip, nope. Health up, pretty good, pretty good. More HP to bargain away later if we get another deal or devil deal. I want an item that takes me off the chain, though. Chemical Peel isn't really that item. Ale is good too, but I don't think that's really that item. BFF might be something, though. No, okay. Does that make our spires better? I don't think it did. It made the cube meat better, which is fine, but I don't think it was quite what we wanted. Where's it going about? Oh yeah, so it sounds like entitlement, like. And I've said, like, I don't fully understand, and I don't think it's just games too. I think for gamers though, it's well, and I think the reason why I'm saying that is because, like, as a gamer myself, that's probably the community I'm most involved with. People playing games or whatever. So like and what I mean to say that is like I read the gaming news or whatever. So if I hear complaints about games, like I'm definitely more likely to hear complaints about them. Whereas like I don't check out sports websites like nearly at all. Like I don't follow sports, so I don't really hear people say, "Oh yeah, like you know this sports team should have done this or whatever." Like so like. So I guess what I'm saying is like by me singling out like gamers, like I don't think that's necessarily that should be said that oh gamers are the worst kinds of people. I think what I'm just trying to say based from like the population I'm within, that's something I've heard that like hey like you know these games should deliver on our expectations or what have you. Yeah, what will we roll here? Dog food nun's habit. Not really a big fan of any of those. Someone won't take any of them. I think our damage is pretty good. It would appear to be so. Also, the bouncing cement, pretty nice. I think it can only bounce off ones, though. One thing I would say is I wish our shots were a little bit bigger. I think that would be conducive to us doing more damage. Because I think the nails are pretty... The nails are pretty narrow, so it's a little easier to miss people with it. Okay. Double Monstro. Should be interesting. I mean, it's better than that other fight. Double Stain plus him. Like, what the heck were those guys thinking? And that's where I like to wonder, like, how do they decide, like, what ways they should do? Because I feel like they're very inconsistent. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Not really. But usually, like, when I play games, like, the kind of difficulties I like is I like the ones that are probably gradual difficulty, because that way it feels like you can like improve as a player, and then and I think for me usually this is a fulfilling experience, like playing a hard game and then beating it, not because like you grind out some levels, but because like hey I feel like I got better as a player. That's rewarding to me. Like so like and talking about StarCraft, like being able to beat StarCraft like that, or that's why I play StarCraft, because like for me that's a lot of fun to be able to like I feel like for StarCraft, like you'll get better as a player by playing the game, and for me that's a fulfilling experience, and that's part of the reason. I was gonna say sometimes I gotta be careful, because I was gonna say sometimes that's why I don't play RPGs, but I think RPGs you can have that as well. Like you can have I feel like I'm getting better as a player. Like you can get that experience. So I think what we do, try and take this 2 of Hearts. That's actually really good. We can play that Devil Beggar if we really want to, but I think for now we'll just do this. And we're basically sorted. We can definitely finish the rest of this. No problem. That, man, our loadout is incredible. I'd be talking about some other stuff too, but it's just like, that's one thing too, like, I don't feel like this is, my commentary's been as satisfying as it could have been, but and I can really feel that too. Like I think I'm partly because like I'm just tired. I'm a tired old man in this world. But some days like I really feel like I'm on fire. Like those Dead Rising videos, man. Like I felt really good about those videos. And is that a shameless plug to go check out my Dead Rising videos? I'm gonna say right now, yeah, that is. I was quite happy with that. And also while I'm going ahead and plugging stuff, if you like this video, leave a comment and subscribe. There we go. That's the kind of person that I've become. Become the guy who's asking for free handouts. Okay. Okay, he's donezo. Man, that Death's Touch pickup's huge. Plus Infestation 2. That's madness. Absolute madness. Oh, and then we have the placenta as well, which is very helpful for the HP. So, like, in theory, I could just wait this out and then wait for my HP to heal up. And if I had, like, something like non-leaf, I might be more inclined to do so, but I don't think it's really strictly necessary right now. So what do we got in here? The leech. I don't think either of these are really worth it. I think we're better off just having the more HP. So we will hit the reroll button. Box and battery. Okay, well, none of these are great. I'll take this. The gauze.
One makes you small.
It's good. Burnt pain, don't really need that. But that's fine. Actually, we can use to blow up these guys. Actually, I would think it'd be better to do this. Yeah, I guess we get more HP. Grab the one up as well, and that's all we got. So let's go fight Greed, or Ultra Greed. I think it'll be a pretty easy fight. I'm not too concerned. We got a very impressive loadout, so Ultra Greed. All right. No, my money's and my HP. So we need to pop this when we have 4 hearts left. Easy enough. Luck up. Bombs. This actually might be a boon for Ultra Greed. So this is probably one of my one of the bosses I like the most in this game. Oh dear. Do we get spiders from killing those? Yes, we do. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Yeah, this is one of the bosses I like the most in this game. Even though I think I don't know if I've said this before, but I voiced complaints about armor in Afterbirth. See, I don't know. The problem is sometimes I've been doing this for long enough now that I don't remember if I've, you know, things I've said on here are necessarily or like, oh, get out. No, fudge. That was a mistake. I sometimes have hard time keeping track of my thoughts, apparently, in my sentence structure. I have a hard time keeping track of whether or not I've said something before on a recording, or if that's just a thought I've had, but I've kept it like to myself, or I've talked to other people about it. Like for me, it's the line gets blurred, man. Actually, we should almost let them get all of these, because this will create a ton of spires for us. Yeah, we don't need to kill these at all. Good. Yeah, see, because we were getting a ton of spires off of it. Well, the capacity to get spires was there. Absolutely. Because we have Penetrating Touch and Infestation too, so I think that's a very potent synergy. And what was I gonna say about the armor though is that so for the Hush fight, I'm not really a big fan of him having armor, because at least in this game it feels like a cheap way of balancing. It feels like an artificial way to make the fight more difficult, and that's one thing I will say. I'm not a game designer, so obviously I think this is this might come back to the entitlement thing I was talking about earlier. I'm not a game designer, so I don't know how hard it is to create good game balance like that. I would imagine it's pretty difficult, because I've done some you know, D&D prep, which are they comparable experiences? I'm not entirely sure, but I would, for the sake of the argument, let's say that it is. But to create a meaningful and, you know, an encounter, or you know, a level or whatever that's hard yet fair, I think that's a very difficult thing to do. And you know, for the fact that they use armor on Hush is okay, well, what would you have done? And it's I don't really know. Again, I'm not a designer. I'm not trying to you know, use that as a cop-out answer, but rather saying that that might have been the best way to do it. Dude, where are these? Come on, give me my spiders. Yes, thank you. I think part of the problem is that the spiders just go ahead and kill everything. Where were we going with this? Yeah, so the armor feels like cheap way of balancing. The same way, I would have liked to see different ways to make the Hush more challenging that wasn't relying on super armor, because it feels almost tedious to work through them, right? Because you just got so much armor and HP. But that's not really the point of the argument. Anyways, you know, thank you for watching this video. I'm done for now. There's nothing but verbal diarrhea coming out of my mouth. So, anyways, I hope you liked the video regardless. If you do, like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, or leave a comment too. I love it when you guys leave comments. So, yeah, until then, I'll see you guys later.